Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy show on this fine morning. And as usual, I am Barnzy, joined by internet personality, PBA Tour titleist, Weber Cup veteran, and purveyor of all facts known and unverified, Stu Williams.
Hello, Christopher. Interesting day yesterday.
I skipped on the news as I have for about a month now. I've pretty much had enough of most of it. But I'll let you. We talked briefly about it. I'll let you.
Yeah, it was like we were in a third world dictatorship. It was very odd. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little surreal watching the news and seeing that happen in the States. But it seems like the sun has rose the next day and we're all still here. So I guess we've got past it. Yeah.
So not all bad, I guess, but yeah, nonetheless, it sounded like a complete. The 10% on either side.
It was sad.
Yes, I wish would go back to where they were before, which was in the minority and overwhelmed by the majority. Instead, they seem to be running way more than it would prefer. So,
but let's move on to things more entertaining. So I had a little practice yesterday on Viper. I'm hovering between it being okay and it being a complete bitch. I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that I want it to play easier, because I feel like if it's going to play more difficult, urethane is going to be a significant factor on that one. And as I've noted the last 4 or 5 times I've played, AJ Chapman's significantly better at the bowling than I am with the urethane ball.
Johnson or Chapman?
Oh, sorry, AJ Chapman. Yeah, AJ Chapman. Him and his fast pitch have been doing some serious damage. I saw he was having a practice. I guess you were with him also.
I was. We put up all 4 patterns at not at the place where we're at, but a different AMF center, and it was over the top of house shots, and so they all hooked off the gutter. You could play out on all of them if you wanted.
Right.
A few tricky players, but the middle was pretty tricky on Chameleon, and obviously Viper would be a mess for the middle of the lane. So.
Yeah, I've got a fun video I'm going to put up on my Instagram and on Facebook today. After I broke the pattern down a little bit, I threw with a bunch of different options, so you can kind of see the shapes and everything else. And I've got one shot in there that's quite fun, so you got to check that one out.
Good.
Oh, here's an interesting question. How many times have you won titles with your A game versus B, C, D Houdini? You don't really know what your A game is.
There was a while where it didn't. Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of related, though. So, in effect, I guess you could look at it 2 ways. One, I'm not sure what the A game was, or I was fortunate that I was getting to do a fair amount of things that I was pretty good at. I didn't have to stray way off the reservation. I mean, I haven't won anything throwing it like Pete Weber. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Or to speak of, like our next guest, which we should probably get to him. He's already waiting in the wings. He is a 2-time titleist, an 18-time regional titleist. He has multiple PBA records that are likely never to be broken. And my Atom Splitters teammate for 4 or 5 years running now, and now he is secretariat to my Willie Shoemaker for this weekend's doubles event in Oklahoma and Shawnee, the Rebel, Tom Daugherty.
How are we doing, Tom?
And now we don't hear you at all. Yeah. Turn the mute button off. We can't hear you.
I'll take these off. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, we could hear you. That's one of those things that really sucks because we even tested it out and it worked fine.
And I never use the headphones, but I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm not at home, so it's not quite as quiet here at the Maldonado residence at times. So I was going to give the headphones a shot, but obviously, I'm not inclined enough to use those.
So you had one of the more interesting weekends that I saw in Houston. If we were to look at your 6-game totals or whatever we would say totals, you bowled really well. Didn't work out quite so good for brackets though.
No, I kept having a little trouble every third game, and when you're doing brackets, unfortunately, it wasn't the third game of the bracket set. It was always the first game. So, whatever I made it through the first game, I seemed to win. But I kept having whatever. Either I was flipping from one side of the house to the other, or I was hitting a funky pair, and it caused me a little problems. And when the scoring pace is as high as it is, a couple bad shots here or there, or a couple bad decisions here or there, it costs you a ton, and it's hard to make up for it. Even with 8 or 9 strikes, if the other 2 are disasters, it's no good.
Yeah, fun little story. We bowled on Sunday together, and the first game we were both pretty good. I think I had 279. I think you had 259. We made the flip, as you're talking about, and I wasn't very good. I was just trying to bleed out that game to see if I could shoot 210 or whatever. And like when you're in that position where you that's not the right ball, but at the same time you're kind of like, but I could get a double. Let's just get out of this game and move on.
Yeah.
So of course I split in the 10th, and you can strike out to beat me. And you threw the first one great. The second one you threw really good, and blow a 7. Whatever. We moved to the next pair, and I continued to bowl the same way I did, and you had the front 10, was it?
Yeah.
And about the front 7, you were like, I really wish I could have carried that one hit to beat you in those, because it's sure looks like you've taken advantage of those 10 finals you beat me in.
Yeah. I mean, when you're playing brackets, that's what it is. It is what it is. You bowl good, and hopefully it works out at the end. And sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does.
Yeah, I mean, the first day was kind of crazy. The singles over Emerald, there was lots of stories of guys like, I bowled 770 and I lost $20, and
Yeah, I would have lost more than that if I bowled 770. I actually bowled 780. And when you have a couple guys that are in all the brackets, and you tied them the first game, I know George Gohagan, I tied with 279, and then he bowled 247 the second game, and I had to throw the last 8 for 258 because I opened in the first frame. So if I miss somewhere along that lines and lose to George, I'd lose. He was in 200 brackets, and he said he lost 100 brackets game 2 with 247. So you figure if I lost to him, instead of being in, whatever finals, 60 finals, 70 finals, whatever I was in, I would have, probably been in half that, if not less, because not only did I tie him the first game, so I had him that many more times in game 2, it would have been a disaster. So if I would have bowled 246 or something for 770, it would have been a bad day too.
So my wife says, I never saw Tom bowl less than 279. He bowled 300, 279 in our matches on Saturday. And I think it was 289 when I came in to watch on Sunday. So there you go.
Yeah, well, he needs to hang around more often, apparently. Are you going to bring her to Oklahoma? That's what Barnes wants to know.
Well, I was shooting 279 until she turned up, and then it didn't go so good for me. And then the one match I bowled against her, I missed.
All I heard there was win-win.
Yeah.
I'll cover one night room then.
That's a lot for Barnes to come off of.
I'm reaching into my pocket here.
Yeah.
This is my contribution to the team.
Thanks.
Do you need one of those grabbers if you're going to reach into your pocket?
Well, the deep pockets, short arms.
So we've got the players coming up from your region. We're gonna run a fantasy competition. So maybe for our viewers watching, who would you, outside of yourself, who would be some of your ones to watch that maybe people haven't really, because it's a little hard to keep track of the regions at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the mentality of it is a little different for me going into it. I'm for whatever reason, I'm looking at it as a regional as opposed to a tour stop, because to me, at least the first part of it has that feel. You know, you have a regional director running it, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just giving you a look into my mentality of it. You have a regional director that a lot of regional guys are comfortable with. So there's a comfort level for a lot of bowlers that when they go on tour, maybe don't have that comfort level with new people, new faces. You have the bowling center doing the lanes. You don't have a tour truck for the guys that have unlimited access to bowling balls to have that advantage. And you know, as far as I know, we're not going to have any tour reps there because they can't be everywhere. There's only so many of them. So maybe they show up in some places and maybe they don't. From what I've heard, they're not going to really be in our ball reps are not going to be anywhere. So with that being said, you look at someone like Richie Dick Allen. I mean, he wins so many regionals in our region. I think he's definitely the number one guy to beat. Tommy is right there with him. He doesn't bowl that many regionals, but when he did, he was always competitive. So you're looking at guys that can make the top 5. The guys from Europe, it's not going to have that feel to them at all. They're not accustomed to the regional program whatsoever. They may bowl 1 or 2 if the schedule allows while they're on tour. So it's going to be a big, I don't know, it's going to feel like a major to them, where I think a couple of the local bowlers, it's going to feel more like a regional. So I know the bowling center, fortunately, it's 15 minutes from where my pro shop is. It's a bowling center I've bowled at for 30 plus years. I've bowled there as long as I can remember. We used to have a lot of action matches back in the day. It was the head mechanic there was a big time bowler, and he would keep the place open 24 hours for us. So I know some of the characteristics of the place, and I'm very fond of the characteristics. Let's say that.
Yeah. Fun fact: Oscar's bowled 1 regional in his life, and he won it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not going to feel like a regional for them whatsoever. Walter Ray is a big time regional guy around here, so he's going to be a factor. Duke, I haven't seen Duke bowl in a regional. I can't tell you how long. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how much of a factor he's going to be. He is Duke, and I'm not going to take anything away from him, but I'm sure he's played a lot more golf than he has bowled lately.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting concept. Our region's really struggling to get players, and I was just talking to Chris about it a little bit before the show. You kind of forget, because we get about 70 to 80 people bowl regionals a lot, but you kind of forget, like in our region, we have a lot of guys who enter as a non-member.
Non-members, yeah.
So it's kind of like you really kind of forget that sometimes, because you're like, wow, we always get like 70 or 80. Then when you think about it, we often get 20 people or 25 people who are non-members. So we've almost got the same amount of members we get to enter a lot of these events.
Yeah, and our region's kind of the same way. We get about the same number you guys get, but we have way more non-members at bowl than members. So it's, once you eliminate, and we have some good non-members, you know, JJ is the first one that comes to mind. He bowls,
of course,
his 2 regionals every year, and we don't have that many in Florida. So he basically bowls the 2 regionals in Florida. But, you know, if you start adding guys like that, it would definitely fill. But I like the fact that they didn't. It should be a benefit of being a member, especially a prize fund like this.
Interesting question. Charlie Tapp asking, are we concerned they may turn to shootouts? I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. So,
I mean, I guess he's thinking scoring pace.
I don't think
it will. I mean, there's 4 different patterns. Obviously, the characteristics of the house are the characteristics of our house. It's not an easy house to begin with. So I don't think anything they do. I think there's going to be some patterns that some of the guys bowl good. You know, we have a lot of senior memberships in Florida, so he may be asking because of the senior factor. He wants to keep the scoring pace down, or all the seniors would want to keep the scoring pace down, obviously, so they can keep up. But you know, I don't think it's going to turn into a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, how much the gutter plays will come into effect there a little bit for sure. But you know, from the other side, it's a little opposite of what I think that the common perception is why they need to be really hard for lower rev rates to bowl good. But what we're seeing is really, if there's a spot to the right with a little bit of friction, the straight guys, girls, lower rev rates compete way better when there's at least a spot somewhere over there to play. Because the rev rates move off of it so fast and create hold the different way. So,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Of course, we don't really know that much about the patterns yet as to exactly which version they're going to use because they've been changed a little bit over time, always. So I'm not even 100% sure if that's locked in yet.
I believe it is. They sent them out. At least we got a version of them.
Well, there you go then. Keeping my finger on the pulse.
They're using Infinity oil, which is in between the two oils we used on tour. The Bear and Viper are 30 mils. Chameleon and whatever that is, Shark/Paris is 26 mils. And they all have a little more shape than what we've had in the past. None of them are particularly flat. They're flat in sections, but they're, like Viper has quite a bit of shape on the gutter. Bear's 2.4 to 1. It's not easy, but certainly more shape than the version of Bear we bowled on originally. And Chameleon actually looked like it would have some shape to it based off the graph, but the middle of the lane was super flat, 39-footer. It was, if the gutter does not play on that one, I think the scoring pace has a chance to really, that one can get some people.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I always find that those long patterns on the AMF surfaces are like really easy or impossible.
The Shark, there will be a lot of puckering going on because there's enough shape and it's really narrow and tall, and the people that hit it are going to pummel it. And there will be some people that hit the pocket and not strike. And yeah, shooting 215 and hanging on for dear life or just falling away so quickly that they can't catch back up.
Okay.
That's my early take on that. But we're going to bowl on them Tuesday and Wednesday, and we probably will stream that. So we'll have it. We had a group of 7 or 8 that practiced yesterday, but we're going to bowl on 2 of the patterns on Tuesday and then 2 of the patterns on Wednesday, and bowl some pot games basically, and try and get an idea of where things are at.
Okay, so let's have a little chat about snowman doubles. So I've never been. But Chris Skillins gets his spray bottle out. The lane machine stays in the back, and they get after it. Tell us, Chris, what's the deal?
I haven't bowled it either, actually.
Wait, what?
But I have bowled with a spray bottle several times. I've been in the one with control of it a few times too. So literally anything can happen.
Yeah.
Last year, the left got away from him a little bit. And so we're going to hope that doesn't happen again, because that will probably ruin the tournament. But they can make them so slick that basically nobody can hook them in the morning. And by the evening, they hook considerably more.
So they only do the lanes once?
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding. And they pretty much do them, kind of start at the head pin and start walking backwards.
Yeah, when I saw the video, Kelly Ray put up a video on his Facebook.
I saw that.
He was a long way down there.
He didn't stop for a while.
One of the years they might have done it almost all the way. Scores are not particularly high.
Oh, here we go. Somebody who has. They said, I've heard they oil with the machine and then spray on top. Maybe
in Kelly Ray video, I don't know if that's true, because he starts at the foul line and works his way back, so he would be stepping on the oil, and I don't think he's to fall, so I don't think he would do that. And then you can also see the guy a few lanes down getting ready to drag him. So
Yeah.
I don't think they oil the lanes. I'm pretty sure he does it all with the spray bottle.
You got to hope that the pair you get, that he was feeling he didn't get a cramp halfway through and stop and massage and forget where he was up to.
Yeah.
Baker, you still a story because they do it. They used to do it with a bug sprayer. They'd be going on, and they're back, cigarette in one, out of one corner of his mouth, and he's spraying like this. And somebody goes, "Hey, Lenny," and he goes, "Hey," and they're spraying him back and forth. There's a little bump there on the little basketball down there, about 35 feet on the one lane. So,
this makes more sense. Andy says he probably completely strips it with the lane machine. That would make more sense because
that's
stripping the lanes by hand isn't fun.
Been there, done that. That's way overrated. Even with a vacuum stripper, it's they get way cleaner, but it's way more work.
So anyway,
manual labor thing.
We'll see what we've got. I don't think he's gonna have a practice session for that one.
I don't believe so. There's going to be a little money in the room. There's going to be a butterfly collection auction, I believe, and oh my gosh. The year I bowled, they used 4 32-ounce bottles on 24 lanes Saturday and 5 32-ounce bottles on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, the old Red River, and this is loosely based off of. The first time I bowled it was in a place, 16-lane center in August, no AC, a couple of fans up in the corner. And they were just like the biggest handed guys in the planet were using lane screen basically to put surface on the blue hammers to get them to just wrinkle somewhere anywhere.
I'm looking at Tom's face, and I'm thinking to myself, I can see him going through his arsenal. I don't know that pink solid.
Yeah, the thing is when you come to Houston, this is like I came last year, and I've bowled a couple other tournaments in Houston, but I always come for Dino's doubles tournaments. This is like the 4th year I've bowled, and then last year Maldonado convinced me to come down to Houston after Dino's tournament. And that worked out well with the win in Angleton and stuff. But I've learned that Houston, everywhere you go, is just hook. I mean,
yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable how much they hook in Houston. And so you bring an arsenal for Houston, and that's the arsenal I'm taking to this tournament.
I can probably plug up a thumb hole. I think I came across like a resurgence in the move.
I think I have some Avalon pads. I think we'll be okay. I mean, these balls that
I can bring you a couple of balls you can ruin.
I think Tommy told me while we were bowling this week that whatever balls I feel like using at Snowman, just plan on leaving them there when you're done because they're probably going to be worthless when you get done with them. So that's my mindset going in. I'm probably going to destroy a couple balls, and hopefully one of them gets 9 enough that we can win some matches.
So what you're saying is, Chris, that just a second. The brick might be in play.
The brick, yeah. I got some actual sandpaper that might be coming up on the trip. So
just gonna smooth my hand off. The brick.
Hey, can you give Colin Champion a raise? He does the best job drilling balls on the Tampa Brandon area.
Yeah, I mean he's right, but I'm not gonna give him any more money. He makes enough.
Ask me in a few weeks.
That's why we're
yeah. Yeah, he makes enough.
Yes, is the answer for that.
I'll answer that for him. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely.
I got to throw the Zen a little bit. That's definitely been the one that's added something to my I added something to my range, I guess. It was a bit stronger than I expected, like I was talking to Chris. Fits off the Axiom Pearl quite well, I think. It's in that kind of ballpark. I think it's a little quicker than the Axiom Pearl. So
yeah, I think there's some fits. There's another low RG symmetrical ball that rolls good. So those are normally pretty handy, generally speaking. So Well, our viewership is back up, so people have found us over here. It's good. Maybe it's just the Rebel. You bring in the Reb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secretariat comes in, saves the day.
Ratings. Tom Clark used to call me ratings gold because whenever I was on TV, the ratings were always up, and obviously, is they wanted to see if I could break any of my own records, but they still had to tune in. It's like a car accident on the highway. You have to slow down to look at it. So that's basically what they're doing right now.
Preach, brother. Team car wreck. Here we go. Team
They're
train
slowing
wreck.
down to check out the Beef and Barnzy show to see what I possibly may say.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on your best behavior today.
Yeah, I mean it's
okay. News
I
of
mean,
the
it's
day.
early, but since we're on the subject, any comments on Marshall leaving Storm for big bowling?
When I first heard about it, saw it, the only thing I could think big stands for was bank account, because I don't know how they got him to sign with 4 bowling balls, but money talks, so it had to be a pretty good contract for him to leave.
I believe one of the quotes, if I heard right, was that with those 4 balls, he felt like he had all the bases covered.
There you go.
That's what he said. I beg to differ.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
I mean, he would be a great guest. He would be a great guest for the Beef and Barnzy show to get his opinion on it and ask him how. I mean, he could be a good spokesman for the company, and he can tell you how great their stuff is. All 4 of them.
I just feel like it's probably not. It's not going to match up that great. It's not going to work out great that well for any of us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because he'll probably beat me with those balls too. So.
I watched Stu get beat by a kid that's still in college with balls I'd never heard of. So now it was Cortez, not exactly a no one.
He was using the
he smashed with
bowlingball.com balls, like the Pantheon and whatever they were.
What are they?
I think they're from bowlingball.com. I think.
Was it Pyramid or is it
like Pyramid?
That's
Pyramid,
right. Yeah. He was beating me so bad he changed ball every game.
There you go.
It's the new jab. Coming in good. What did Tom get Rob Stone for Christmas? Good question, Justin.
You know what? It's funny. It wasn't that long. I can't remember the date. I could probably look it up in my phone. Anytime Rob and I have a conversation, believe it or not, we didn't have each other's phone numbers. It was always on social media, jabbing each other back and forth. I get a call one day from a number, I don't know who it is, and I answer it, and it was actually Rob Stone. He got my number from Randy or whatever. And he just called me out of the blue, and he said he was reading something on social media, and he actually started to feel bad for me. So he's calling to check on me. And it was just a random call, and we talked for 15 minutes, and he had nothing but basically mean things to say to me. But it was a good conversation. But he does read everything you guys post. He sees everything that I post, obviously, and sometimes you guys are so mean to me that it makes him feel bad, which is pretty funny. So he just wanted to call and tell me. He wanted to make sure I was doing okay and everything was all right with the family and everything, because he was feeling bad from all the stuff he was reading. So I'm sure he gets a kick out of it.
You sure he wasn't just trolling you?
No, he trolls me enough on social media. Trust me. So when he called me, I could hear it in his voice. He actually was feeling bad.
What was great, the last time I made a show, we started talking about my football team, and of course Rob's really big with soccer or whatever.
Obviously.
And Randy started to speak, and Rob's like, "Not now, Randy. Not now. You don't need to know about this. I've got this section of the show."
Yeah. He's the best, man. He's the best.
No, Tom's still a Hammer Rebel.
So we were just talking about Marshall Kent.
Yeah, and if you head over to Flow Bowling, you can watch his interview with Lucas, where he says, "I don't think I need a urethane ball. but hopefully there's one coming. I don't need a bowl rep, but there might be one coming. And I can bowl on every pattern with these 4 balls, although there are some more coming. It was pretty much, if I was to surmise the interview, that's how it went.
There you go. Big things are coming.
Big.
Favorite Tom moment: Wolf Open and beating all the Storm players and Barnes. He can't beat me.
Wasn't that Belmo?
Yeah. I didn't really beat Barnes. He kind of beat himself. He kind of stumbled out of the gates there, if I remember correctly.
Is that at Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
Yeah, the next game I shoot over 200 in that side of the building will be the first. So it seemed to be a pretty good strategy on my part. So, I mean, it hooked in about my 3rd step most of the time there anyway.
Right.
And so I got some surface on, let's see, which one did that? Maybe I went the other way. Maybe I threw a boost or something like that. And
I don't know. You had a problem with the 210 combination there for a little while.
Yeah, I got to where it didn't hook in the front. So then it also didn't hook in the back.
Right.
Yeah. So
the best part
that is not even remotely first world problems. That is a quick exit every single time. You're right. I didn't make you work at it very hard. You just
I gave you a chance though, because I'm still me on TV, so I gave you a chance, but
it was very team oriented, and I appreciate the opportunity and the glimmer of hope that I still managed to slam the door shut on myself.
Right. I figured if I would shut you out, you would sleep better. So I figured I'd give you a chance so you'd ponder over it a little bit more.
Thanks.
No problem.
That is true friendship right there.
I love the way that Chris answered that, though, when you said, "Oh, yeah, at that tournament." And he's like, "Which one was that I lost on TV?" No.
Yeah.
No,
There's about 70 of them to choose from. You can pick any of them. I'm getting better at short-term memory, or I'm just getting older and forgetting. I don't know which one, but either way.
I was asking you about the new widow, Tom.
Yeah. Again, I didn't bring it to Houston because that ball hooks a little bit. So I actually wish I had one for Snowman this weekend. I think it would be a good ball. It's pretty similar to the original Black Widow. I mean, they tried to recreate the original Black Widow, so I think they did a very good job at it. It's hard to match something exactly, especially when you move it from one plant to another and you have different guys behind it. But they did a really good job. It was that ball came out and the Hammer Web B came out at the same time, and I think that they were the first really 2 balls from Mexico that I really, really, really enjoyed throwing. So I throw the Hammer Web B a lot. It was actually in my bag to come out here. I replaced it with the Proof Hybrid at the last minute because I like the way that one, and that's the one I bowled a lot with out here. So that was probably the right decision. But as far as the Widow 2.0 goes out, and if you were a fan of that gas mask core, they did a great job with that ball, and it's going to be a big seller this year.
Yeah, I definitely from seeing it from the side, I used the Black Widow back in the day, and I think that the thing that they did that was a good job from my point of view, just watching it, was that they appreciated that they couldn't make the same ball because that ball would suck now.
Right.
So it looked in the same kind of shape, I thought, anyway.
Right. It's obviously stronger than the original, but
yeah,
you have to.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
I think it fits in the same gap as the other one used to.
Exactly.
Type of deal.
Exactly. It looks the same going down the lane, however many years later. So that's a good thing.
The hard-hitting questions we're known for here on the Beef and Barnzy. Sorry. And Tom, what's your favorite food place to eat in Houston?
I don't know if you guys seen Maldonado lately, but he likes to cook. So we've pretty much eaten every meal in-house.
When you're feeding 8, it's harder to eat out.
So my favorite place to eat in Houston is obviously Casa Maldonado for sure. So
free as me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I didn't help buy the groceries. I just said he likes to cook. And I can't cook at all. So it's nice to get a home cooked meal 3 times a day, actually sometimes 4 times a day with him.
This is a fun question. I answer this one. Says, so many new bowling balls, how'd you keep up? When you're bowling bad, new balls are the best because it gives you some ray of hope that there might be a magic one in there.
Yeah, that would be a good question for the likes of like Dom. I see these guys show up with all these bowling balls and I can't sometimes when they throw it, it's the first time I've seen them go down the lane. I'm like, how do you keep up with these new bowling? I mean, there's so many with 7 brands now. There's no way I don't drill them all. They don't send me all of them. There was no reason to have them all because it just doesn't make sense. That's a good one.
That's a bit rude.
That's okay.
What are my thoughts on the MVP attitude? It was kind of it was a ball that I don't really have that much use for because it fits in a gap that it needs to be on a lower volume of oil because it's kind of that lower mid-price ball. And we bowl on a lot of oil a lot of the time. So to me, it doesn't really fit a gap for me. The gap it does fit is for the people who need something a little more than the hustle. I think it works out really good there. It's just in my arsenal, I tend to go, from a high road pearl straight down to a hustle. I don't really have that in between zone. So that's what it fits for me. I just never really find that much use for those MVP balls. But I have seen people use them in league a lot and do quite well with them. But it's just I have a lot. I tend to use more speed, so I don't really need that kind of range. So that's the one for me. That's where it fits for me anyway.
Morning, guys. Tom, we almost met in Oklahoma in 2017. It didn't work out for either of us. Just a fan of the game. Blessings to you all. I don't know if that was your foray on Grindr or what you got going on there, but
wow.
Whoa.
It's amazing you keep your fan base up as high as you do.
That's what Stu's here for.
Man of the people, me.
Barnes from the top rope.
It's tough. It's tough to get to Shawnee from about everywhere, actually.
Yeah. I'll be in Shawnee this weekend. Feel free to come see.
Yeah, hopefully we're there for a little while too. I don't know.
Yeah, I already figured we're gonna draw Dino and Sean in the first round, so I don't know. I mean, what are the odds of that? But that's probably gonna happen the way this weekend's been going.
You get to plus, and I need to refill.
The same guy that called me fat, right?
So,
Yeah,
Lawrence.
He's a regular.
Yep.
He's just fitting in with the crowd.
I guess.
Trust me, that's not one of the worst things they've ever said to a guest.
Well,
sure.
People,
when AJJ comes on, they pretty much pound him.
Well, he's easy to make fun of.
He doesn't make it terribly hard.
There's a guy.
They're not afraid to take that little speck of blood and see if they can, catch an artery.
Yeah.
So
I mean, William Gannon was all over. I mean, all over AJ for probably an hour on the show. And AJ went back through and replied to every single comment the guy made.
Yeah.
So at one point, the guy said, things that you hope for, AJ winning the title. Things that'll never happen, AJ winning the title. And AJ's response to that was, things William hopes for to lose weight, things that'll never happen, William to lose weight. I was like, AJ.
come on, man.
Sometimes they just win. You just have to let them win. Sometimes
it is what it is.
I promise I won't be replying to any of the comments on this show.
But I mean, even if you did, it's just I just couldn't believe that he went through and he replied to about 15 different comments. I'm like, oh, bro.
That's just going to make it worse the next time he's on.
Yeah. Oh, it did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it, you've owned everything of yours, and that's what makes you ratings gold.
Right.
That you didn't make any excuses. You didn't. I mean, you somehow found a way to celebrate a moment that I've been in a few fairly traumatizing potentially.
Yeah, I've seen how you acted. I kind of went the opposite way.
You ran with it and made it fun in a moment that I would imagine after about the 6th frame, there's nothing more you'd like to done than just I'm just going to leave now. We're going to let him bowl the rest of the game.
Right. Well, I mean,
we'll just call this one good.
The thing I remember most about it is, Doug Kent was obviously there helping me. A lot of help. It ruined his ball repping career right from the get-go. But, him and Patrick were like, this is your first TV show. It's going to go by. It's over before it even starts. And I tell everyone that's not true. It took a long time to get through those 10 frames. I felt like I was on that show for about an hour and a half. It was miserable.
That's the game that would not end.
Yeah, no. The only good thing about it was Mika bowling what he did. If Mika bowls 160 or 170 that game, it would have been and I'm still doing the same thing. It probably would have been a different attitude, but Mika made it a lot easier. I give him a lot of credit because if he didn't bowl 299, it would have been disastrous maybe.
So we have a couple of quick bowl questions for you. One of my friends from England says, is the Proof Hybrid close to the Pearl? Would you ever take both?
No, they're totally different balls. You got to remember the Proof Pearl was made in Hopkinsville, and the Proof Hybrid was made in Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Am I right on that? Am I correct, or am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. Because the Proof Pearl,
Proof wasn't out.
The Proof Solid, I thought, was the first Mexico ball for track.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can't keep up. I told you I can't keep up with them all. It's totally different. That's for sure. They're not.
Okay.
They're not anything. They've made some changes, and if it was, and you're probably correct now that I think about it. The Proof and the Proof Pearl came out from Mexico, but you have to remember during that year from when they came out to these new balls come out, it's totally changed. You know, they've added some EBI stuff to it, and they're changing every time they come out with a new ball. It's changing how they do certain things. They don't give us a lot of information about it, but as far as the pro shop side of it, you know, Brunswick balls used to have a pretty bad scent to them when you open the box, and now they don't. So obviously there's some changes there. And that goes for all the brands. When we first got the first hammer ball, it smelled just like a Brunswick ball when it came out, and now they don't. So the changes that they've made from when the first Proofs came out to the Proof Hybrid, it's a totally different ball.
Okay, so there you go.
Better ball.
Prism Warp Hybrid, or is that kind of a bit too strong?
No, that's a good one. I liked that one. It is a strong ball, and it would be something I use on tour. For the same reason, like Stu said, we see a lot more oil at times on tour than we would if we were bowling league or tournaments back home. So
this isn't a get at you. This is 100% a get at me.
Okay.
Jim,
yeah. It's wrong. Okay. I knew I was wrong when I said it. My intentions were that the balls are totally different, but
yeah.
and I went back a little too far, but I was wrong.
Don't worry. That was Jim having to go at me. It wasn't him having to go.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, 50 cents a pin. No, it's like $500 a pin.
Yeah, it's 500.
I'm bad at math, evidently. Yeah.
That's another record that probably won't be broken.
Oh, I mean, that's not even a question.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be Belmo, right?
No.
Yeah, him and Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richie.
That is definitely
definitely somebody in the southern region. We'll probably see a couple eyeballs pop up here in a minute.
I saw one a minute ago. Well, Peter Caliendo, actually, he was a part of Hammer's Greatest Fans. So that comment was way more about Tom than it was about you people. That was not favorite person to bowl against and beat.
It's Belmo.
There you go.
Obviously. He's about the only one I can beat on TV.
Has Tom ever gotten a fine on tour for an outburst?
On TV, no, I've never been fined for anything I've said or done on TV. I have been fined on tour multiple times, but it's usually for the common kicking of a ball return or I think the last one I got, I slammed my ball into my bowling bag and it was on one of those hollow floors. So it was a little louder than I intended, but that caught me off guard how loud it actually was. But yeah, it is what it is. There he is.
So have you been fined in the last, say, 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You act like that's hard to do.
I feel like it's nearly impossible.
I've been fined by
Find a
Kirk.
way every
I've
year.
been fined by Kirk, and I've appealed it to Tom Clark and got off that way a few times because Tom Clark's a fan, so I can get away with a little bit more stuff than I can if he wasn't a fan. unlike Barnes.
You still have the record for the fastest 300 game.
I mean, in my mind, I do. There's a one that did it on video that looked a little suspect, but nothing's official. So,
Favorite tournament to bowl and why? It's from Cole Garrett. He was on a Daugherty-like run. He was shooting 300s like they were giving them away for free in the summer.
yeah, obviously it's the Tournament of Champions. Yeah, I love that tournament. It's just what it stands for and everything, and the history of it, and so I do like that tournament.
Here's getting credit.
Me laugh.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus to the cancel culture.
You're driving the bus, Richie.
I didn't say his name. So he must be talking to you guys. Because I would never do that to my boy.
He's hardly in the shadows, is he?
No, he's out there. I think if he started a podcast, the ratings would be a lot higher than even yours, if to be honest with you. So
yeah.
I
mean, I
could definitely cross over into the political part of it for sure. Him and Walter. If he has Walter on as a guest, it would be ratings gold.
Yeah, we had Walter on, and he went in that direction a little bit.
The funny part is they actually bowl doubles as many times as they can. They bowl doubles together, and Dick actually told me that, they made the decision that they're going to bowl and not talk to each other, don't even look at each other, just bowl, and that's the end of it. And they keep the political stuff in the back, so they can.
That might be a perfect partner for Walter. I don't even know.
It is. They win a lot of tournaments together.
So, is Rob Stone jinx still real in 2021? Yeah, we're going to get to it.
I mean, is Rob Stone still real? That's the question.
All right. Well, since we've already gone down this road, Troy Kendrick says hi.
Yeah,
and just one quick thing. The right lane is in the works. The right lane.
There we go.
That's good. See?
It's perfect.
There you go.
I mean, I'm sure you'll have plenty of customers, Richie. It's one way or the other. The people who are the problem are the ones dead in the middle. That's how it seems.
The right lane.
Okay, well, I'm not sure this is a tough question at the moment. All three, if you had to choose which event you would want to win the most.
I'm going to say the Players' Championship for about 250,000 reasons.
Yeah.
I know Barnzy is not going to disagree with me.
No, I actually have one to sort of throw in there because the Masters would give me.
Yeah, but that's passed you by, so don't even think about that.
I hope I bowl you, mother.
I hope you don't bowl me. That's the only time I can beat you is at the Masters.
Hey, it's not a problem. Belmont will still be on the other side of the draw.
Yeah.
That beating Belmont at the Masters was quite challenging when he wanted to roll reactive balls. Now he figured out that he could just throw the pitch black and ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's cool.
I honestly, I think Barnes has got a couple more chances at the Masters. Maybe not the next 2 years, but he's going to have when you make that match play draw, anything can happen. And he's made it a lot of times. So, I mean, you think of some of the winners. I've always said that's the hardest and easiest tournament to win. I honestly believe that.
It's definitely got the most one-time major champions, I would think.
Oh, for sure.
I believe I do think. I mean, it's not an easy thing for a guy like Belmo to win. I don't think, because even though he does it every time, I mean, everybody knows what they've got coming. There's no overlooking him or overlooking Walter. When he was the guy, those guys don't sneak through matches and then get surprised.
No, but they also in that format they also win matches before they shoe up too. So they got that going for them.
There's a lot of matches that get decided because guys make up the number in their head. Oh, I got to shoot 720 against Belmo when 660 is the real number.
Right.
And when they don't have it, they switch out of something and take a chance. And either they put that big number on them, but most likely when you take the home run swing, you strike out, and
Right.
then you shoot 580 and make it easy.
So one of the players from our region, Cody, says, what do you guys like the format of the players, or would you prefer the format from the last few years? Here's the thing. We like the format of the prize fund. And to be perfectly honest, I think that the format's fine. Like, from my point of view, prize money covers up a lot of things that people don't like, and you can get to like it a lot better very quickly.
I think moving forward,
have this issue with all the tournaments. Would we want to bowl it like this every week? Clearly, wouldn't. But once a year, I think it's cool.
I liked the way it was worded in the email that, and it was true, that this major doesn't have an identity. And if this is the format going forward, it gives it an identity that's unique to itself. And I have no problem. I am actually encouraging them to do this once a year. I think I am a big fan of it once a year, just like I'm a fan of the Masters once a year, but I would not want to bowl that tournament every weekend either because of the format. So once a year, I think it's phenomenal. I think it gives the tournament an identity, and I think it's great, especially for the tier down. As we started this conversation, the regional members that maybe can't afford to go bowl on tour or looking for their big break. I can name hundreds of guys that are really good regional players that just never make it on tour. So this is their chance to have a good weekend at a regional and make something of it.
Make some real money.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, definitely. And we spoke about that quite a bit, about the majors having their own identity and stuff. And that's what I think. Sorry, Chad, because you're probably going to be listening. That's what you did that sucks at the US Open. You turned the US Open into the World Series. The World Series was the multi-pattern major. That wasn't the US Open. The US Open was 100% flat, and that's what we did. And that's how everybody looks at it. And it being the multi-pattern thing just isn't what that major was about. So that's my soapbox. I'm off it. Chad, please don't send me something mean. Don't send me a rat in the mail.
Yeah, I honestly think the U.S. Open and the Masters have almost kind of swapped. You know, when we went to the U.S. Open, you talked about the grueling pattern, but there was a joke of how many guys are going to bowl in, because they opened it to everybody. So there was always going to be guys that bowled less than 100, and there was always guys that, you finished and you saw some really bad bowling. Now you see that at the Masters. The Masters is a lot tougher than it used to be, and you see a lot of bad bowling at the Masters, where you used to see that at the U.S. Open.
And you also, at the Masters, the last time, or 2 times ago when it was in Vegas, or was that the last time? I don't know. Whatever. That time, the last one.
I don't even know who makes the proof anymore. So
that poor guy who was born with Belmo and Bill on the same pair. It's a pretty good bowler. Shot 82.
Yeah, I can picture his face, but I can't figure his name.
Who's that?
He's bowled a few tour stops.
He was in the cut. Bowler. He was in the cut until he did that too.
Yeah, 82.
Yeah.
His buddy from Australia?
No.
It was
he's from the Northeast.
He's a storm. He's on Storm.
Yeah,
like I say, he's a pretty good bowler.
He shows up every now and then.
Rich McCormack or Rick McCormack. That's what the guy's called.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's some, there's obviously some small adjustments that can be made. The East has been full since this day the entries opened, and they have a pretty sizable waiting list. Whether it's letting guys who want to go that are on that list, if they can go to the nearest geographical region to fill in a field, might be
obviously they just need to rework I think this is the first year. I don't like that idea, but I do like the idea of reworking the regions to where the numbers make more sense as far as entry level.
Yeah, because the East is 96.
Right.
Real quick, the West is 72, the South is 72, the Central is 68, and the Southwest is 56.
Right.
Which I'm a little disappointed in our guys around here. For as many guys that we have that bowl and bowl a lot and are really good, I can't imagine why you don't have to take time off work. You don't have to do anything. You can, for $500, you're getting a swing.
Right.
10,000 is fifth.
No,
to
I
cash
understand.
is 1,100.
And I look at it like we said before, you're paying $500 to bowl a regional that first place is 50,000. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I
Right.
mean,
Just
first place
yeah,
in your
just
region
your
is
region.
50,000 at least.
Yeah, and that doesn't. You don't have like in our region, so you don't have Belmo, you don't have Jacob, you don't have
Right.
Simo now, you don't have Wes, you don't have EJ, you don't have Thrash or O'Neill.
Right.
We're not top heavy here. I don't have no idea why the good bowlers in the Southwest aren't showing up for our region. We have a lot of guys in the middle that are really good, but I mean, there is a lot of people who could make the show in our region.
I said it when they put up 250,000 for the tournament champions back then, and that involves some travel, so I understand that. Maybe I was out of line for saying it, but this one, if you were a PBA member and you don't bowl this tournament, then why are you a PBA member? I mean that's there's no reason for it. There's no if why do you have your card if you're not going to bowl this tournament?
Yeah. Cole asked a question. We'll let you answer it, Tom, because Stu and I have already. Which region do you think is the toughest and which is the most top heavy?
I guess it's called Central. I don't know. I mean, I look at it in my own personal rankings. I think they have 3 of the top 5 bowlers on tour in it with Rash, EJ, and Prather. So, I mean, if you have 3 of the top 5 and you guys are trying to make the top 5, that seems like that would be the hardest region by far. And I'm not even mentioning the likes of AJ Johnson, Wes Malott. You know, there's other guys, and I'm not trying to throw shade on them whatsoever. But to me, Rash, Prather, and EJ Tackett are all in the top 5 bowlers on tour.
And we broke down guys that are on teams. They actually they had the least number of guys on teams, but all their guys are in the top 20.
Yeah, they're all the franchise players. All live in the same
yeah,
zone.
They're all right. West is kind of the same way. You have Belmo, Jacob,
Marshall, Darren Tang.
Darren Tang, and Simon.
Marshall's throwing big bowling, so
yeah. And I mean, you know, Jacob, if the left's good, now you have 3 of the top 5 in that region.
Yeah. No, Wes is top heavy too, but I think West might be the easiest place to get a check.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we got to with that too.
And I think your region is going to be the hardest place to get a check.
Well, certainly if we don't get more entries, we're not going to have very many.
Right.
But it's also the region that I think is the top money might be the most accessible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Frankie is probably our highest ranked player at the moment.
Definitely.
At 10th or 12th, somewhere, wherever he was, he came out.
I mean, it's Frankie and then it's Brad Miller.
And Sherman. And, you know, I mean, we have a lot of guys in the middle in the 10 to 35 range. But, you know, we don't have the headliners that some of the other regions have. You know, you guys have Jesper, you have.
You'll always be a headliner, Chris.
The characteristics of our house, I think, puts the left at a little disadvantage, fortunately. But who knows? Maybe they'll adjust the patterns. I don't know. But lefties usually don't bowl good at that. So it gives the tournament identity. We're talking about it. It's something everyone's going to talk about. So it's, you know, if this wasn't the format, these conversations wouldn't exist. So I think it's awesome.
No, me too. And
thanks, Cole.
here's a good question.
Free shirts on the way, buddy.
Is Jacob finally investing in a spare ball this season? Nope. Stupid is as stupid does.
Well, his other one goes fairly straight. It just doesn't go in the right direction. Sometimes.
I always liken it to this. When I watch Jacob shoot a spare, he looks like somebody throwing a misfit house ball. It doesn't look like it's his ball. It dangles down and then he just throws it. And I don't know. I know that, was it last season? No, maybe the season before. One of the Ebonite ball reps drilled him a plastic ball and he didn't really want to throw it. And he threw it once. He missed. He goes, see, I can miss with that. I might as well just stay with the one I'm with. Okay. Okay.
No comment.
There you go. Well,
we're
I mean,
on team plastic ball here on the Beef and Barnzy show.
There you go.
A lot of plastic.
I don't know many people who don't. You know, I know that you use a urethane ball, and I would say that you're no.
I changed when they added the rule. I only use the urethane for a spare ball because it added more balls to my arsenal because I could use it as a spare ball and a strike ball.
All
But
right.
once I had to have a designated spare ball, I might as well make it a plastic ball. So that's when I did that.
I'm the same. When I travel with 6, I take something else. But
Right.
5,
Well, now when I
you know,
travel,
when you have whatever you want, there's not much excuse not to have.
right. But it definitely hurt me because when I travel, a spare ball
Mhm.
has to be one of my 6 balls, where before it was a urethane ball. So that's why I used to throw urethane all the time. Now I just throw plastic.
Cody, I agree completely. Hopefully that picks up. You got a couple more days to enter, and for as many good bowlers there are in the Southwest, I find it fairly unexcusable to not take a swing at that kind of money for what people are bowling for right now. So you have some insight. You've been around a few guys. Cheapest on tour.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Now you're going to edit?
Well, I mean, there's a difference between cheap and frugal. So, hey, Barnes has bought my meal before, so I can't say he's the cheapest on tour. Don't
That's
tell
not a
him.
secret I willingly like to get out.
I think the problem is I think for us, we're fairly choosy with the people we hang out with. And if you are in that conversation with the cheapest on tour, then you're probably not going to be in our group. So
Right.
that's just the way it is. It's like you're on the road way too much to worry about $10 here or $5 there. It's just
There'll be a bowler probably. He's going to bowl the region. He's a regional player. His name's Trevor Roberts, and he will be on tour very shortly, whether it's this season or next season. He's good enough to be out there and compete, and he will by far take over the title of the cheapest bowler on tour. I've never seen anyone like it in my life. I mean, he takes every roll of toilet paper from every hotel room. He bowled Lubbock that year. He took every granola bar they had and put it in his suitcase and took them home. He is the cheapest I've ever seen in my life. And so once he gets out there, we'll have a new number 1 for sure.
Barnes is going to put an arm around his shoulder.
You need to. Trevor Roberts. I don't know if you know him. He's a young.
Yeah, he does a lot of ball reviews.
Yes, yeah, he's a younger kid, and he when he comes out there, Barnes, he could probably teach you a thing or two, to be honest with you. He's probably going to open your eyes to some things you never even knew that was possible.
Yeah, I try not to abuse the sponsor.
Richie Teese is a little cheap.
Yeah,
Richie Teese.
I don't know him that well. I've never been out with him, so.
But
Cole Schreier says, if it didn't require a card, I'd be there. So my question is,
get a card.
Why don't you have a card?
It's $25 a month. So if you just pay for a 1-year membership and then still bowl, you're paying $750 for $250,000. Who wouldn't do that?
Well, and Cole, you know, he whacked the house shot at Louisville, throwing a hustle every week and all that. And then he went to Odessa in one of the trickiest buildings we bowl in all summer and threw urethane and also finished in the top 3. So,
yeah, I don't know. If you call yourself a bowler, why wouldn't you buy your card for a year?
And he's got
tournament every year. They're going to have this tournament again.
He can bowl. Sean, my buddy Sean, there has to be reasons for they're not showing up. What's going to get the PBA attractive again and raise those entries? I mean, prize funds help for sure. I think the RPI, which I believe is in the plans of coming back, which should help. By the way, Sean, which region is Colorado in? You're entered, right?
I think the other thing though is I think that people have had options to bowl here, and that in the other regions, people really want to go out and bowl, like really more desperate.
Yeah.
I would say that the one that's most bad for the Southwest is when you compare it to the South, because the South has been in exactly the same position as our region. They've had stuff to bowl the whole time as well.
Oh, we've had I mean, we've been 100% in all the bowling alleys for a long time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The fact that your guys have got more entries and you have way less states to choose from as well.
I like I said, I don't get it. I thought they would all fill up. I mean, I signed up the day it opened because I was worried about getting shut out myself, so I didn't want to miss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I frantically text Pete yesterday because I keep getting the email that says, "We noticed that you have not entered the Players Championship yet," and it goes, "You're going to be shut out in 3 days," or whatever it said. And I'm messaging Pete and I'm going, "Why am I getting this email? I signed up, right? Because I signed up the same as you. Like the minute it came out, I was just like, just get it done." I was sitting in a COVID haze when I did it, so then I was wondering, did I click the right button? And I'm like,
well, the new PBA website's so easy to navigate. I don't understand how you screwed it up.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm just glad I'm on the website. I had to email 3 times to get me and Walter Ray on the website because they quit updating people once they got past like whatever the letter was just before us. I think they got to T and they didn't do W and the rest of them. So I'm like, so I email them, "Why am I not on the website?" They email me back, "Well, you'll be up in the next update." Okay, so that was like a month's time. And I'm like, that's weird, but okay. A month went by and I'm not there. And I go, I understand that it's kind of annoying me, but surely there's probably a few people who search for the guy who's got the most titles of all time. So I was waiting for him to update and just put Walter on and leave me off again.
That would have been perfect.
Well, I think there's some pretty obvious ones here. Jacob out in the West, Jesper down in the South. Wesley Lowe has a pretty good swing in our region. He's
no, Wesley Lowe's in the West.
He is in the West. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. I guess he doesn't live in Wichita.
It was very controversial, but his driver's license said California. So he argued his case. So hopefully we have like one lefty who doesn't make it, but bowls really better than they should have done. And we can go, "Wesley, you should have just turned up. They were stone walled on our side." But yeah,
I think the better question is who's going to make it, because there's going to be somebody or multiple people that make it that the PBA world never heard of.
Simonelli's down in your region, but
a regional player that people have never heard of.
I think the East is the region for that.
For sure.
Most of those bowlers bowl though. Most of those, even the good ones, I mean, they show up and they bowl.
Yeah, right. What I'm saying is I think that the greater PBA audience won't have heard of somebody who makes it in the East. That's what I'm saying.
In our region, if the left is good, there's a kid, Brandon Curtis, that he's a great bowler. And I mean, you got to remember, you make the top 5, you're on TV. There's going to be some guys that have never bowled on TV. A Trevor Roberts in my region, a Brandon Curtis, to name a couple. I'm sure every region has those guys that, we all know him because he bowled, but out west, PJ Haggerty, he can bowl.
Yeah.
He won a lot of regionals. So you look at it as a regional thing. PJ Haggerty would not surprise me at all. I know Nathan Bohr's made a couple TV shows, but Nathan Bohr in your region, if it's a regional, when's the last time, he makes a lot are top 5 in your region.
He wins a lot. When they're hard, he wins
but he makes a lot of top 5s. So those guys are that's the guys I'm looking at. And it's going to be interesting to see them bowl on TV.
Yeah, and we talked about Simonelli, and I think he's got a pop at it as well. But I always thought he's a guy that needs to bowl a lot, and he's probably not bowling. So,
and then I was on Dougie Vision a bit.
Huh?
He's on Dougie Vision.
There you go. Larry Verbal says we need something similar on the PBA 50 side. Well, I don't know why you're not bowling anyway. I mean, Keith Lesko's bowling. I was surprised that Mark Williams isn't signed up. I don't think, or maybe he is. But
we'll have quite a few seniors in the South, I believe, because we have so many members that are seniors in Florida.
Yeah,
I mean, Walter Ray and Norm Duke and Jason Couch. There's 3 right there. And
I know Couch is bowling. I know for sure Couch is bowling. He
signed up,
with Couch, and he's Couch is all up at Dom. Oh, we're going to go and practice here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. I've got it all set, right? And Dom's still a little skeptical about coronavirus just in general. And Couch is like, yeah, we don't have it down here.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't exist in Florida.
Dom's like, well, the numbers kind of say that you do.
I tell everyone it doesn't exist in Florida.
Same in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Relative to numbers, it's still a pretty small thing. But yeah.
Now we're
They
going
would just be
on the
smart
right.
and,
We're
and
turning,
eliminate themselves from the.
we're turning this into the
Yeah.
right lane podcast. So be careful where you go with that.
Charlie, when does the PBA 70 start? I don't want any part of you on that. So.
I wasn't trying. Jim, back up off me.
Yeah.
Like, you cost me
All right.
money by not coming to Dallas. You wouldn't come to Dallas and bowl.
Yeah, no kidding. Why not?
Okay.
Well, as usual, Tom was ratings gold. You brought in people by the droves, and we took our 40-minute goal and obliterated it by a half hour. So
I'm sure Maldo's mad at me. We're on the way to the pro shop, so he can do yet another grip change. So,
well, it hasn't been bowling very well.
I told him it would be about 40 minutes. What?
He hasn't been bowling very well. He probably needs to change.
Well, I think that's why he's doing something different.
He bowled 2 sweepers over the weekend in Houston, decided it didn't work anymore.
No,
he's still going no thumb. He's having some trouble with his fingers now, so we're going to fix that.
His problem has nothing to do with his grip. It has to do with his partner seeing the lane and just getting in his head. Man,
it's not fun. Trust me, I've been there. It's not fun when the person you're bowling with can't do anything wrong and you can't figure out what your ball is doing. It's not fun. It was a tough week for him, but he'll be fine. He's going to bowl phenomenal at Snowman. I already told him that. So, especially since we're not bowling together.
Yeah. He doesn't need to come and ask you for advice on a ball reaction at Snowman. Just hit the front one.
Just try to hit the one in front.
All right, Tom. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Chris, I guess I'll see you guys Friday, Saturday, whenever.
Yeah. All right. Drive safe.
All right, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Have a good one. Well, as usual, he came in great. And
yeah, added to our show thing. If nobody's got an opinion, just ask us.
Yeah, for sure. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, well, we will try and get some video of the tournament that is Snowman. Hopefully me and Chris on the same first round and we can take some video. Could be kind of entertaining for sure. Seeing rooster tails and the like. People, that was one of the things that people asked for in the video yesterday or the day before. They wanted more videos from tournaments, so we're going to try and accommodate that and get some more stuff up. So do you want to send us out, Chris?
Yeah, I think we do. And we'll do it a little differently today, but as usual, we'd like to thank our sponsors and support those small businesses. And so once again, if you would consider, if you have to make a purchase inside the bowling relationship in the bowling world, support our sponsors: Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, Vice, Turbo Grips, 3G Shoes, Dexter, Cool Wick, Bowler Smart, and our new sponsor, Mark Baker Bowling. So with that, we will stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll finish off with our newest sponsor. And till next time.
Mark Baker here. Are you struggling with your game? Do you need another set of eyes? Is there that one thing in your game you just can't fix? Please let me help you. Go to markbakerbowling.com, click on virtual lessons, and follow the 3 easy steps. Remember, you can live anywhere in the world, and with virtual lessons, I can help you. Look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you.
Till next time, we'll have a recap of the Snowman doubles. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.